Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadi Tamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And we'll share the screen. Share, here we are. Very good. October 26th in Asia. And this is an interesting topic. Modern graphics and all. Essential ingredients for a powerful puja. Subtitled, Pondering the Mystical Elements and Knowledge Behind Hinduism's Major Form of Temple Worship. From 2021, not that long ago. Let's compare worshiping the murti in the temple to the preparation of a vegetable curry. What else, right? To prepare a curry, you start by cleaning raw vegetables, removing skins or inedible parts, and cutting all to size. In a pan, you heat up a splash of oil, adding whole spices, dried peppers, seeds, and a dollop of dry dal. Once the seeds pop and become fragrant, add curry leaves and onions, brown slightly, add tomatoes, and simmer for a short time. Next, add salt, spice powders such as turmeric, and curry powder, and simmer a bit more. Finally, add raw, steamed, boiled, baked, or fried vegetables and cook until complete. As any good cook will attest, lots of ingredients are required to turn a bland vegetable into a tasty curry. Quite a meal there in that photograph. Such a dish feeds our body while our soul is nourished by puja in the temple. And a question to you. I chose 5 ingredients for a powerful puja. What do you think they are? For a puja to be powerful, an Om process must be followed and a number of important ingredients need to be present. Number 1. The first is the nature of the temple's connection to the inner worlds, which varies considerably from temple to temple. It needs to be a strong one. We can compare this to connecting a computer network to the internet. T1 connection, for example, can transfer only a small amount of data compared to the fastest optical connections. The strength of the temple's connection to the inner world depends upon 3 factors. Whether it was founded in connection with the vision of the deity. Did the deity choose to have a temple there? Which is what a vision means. Or did man choose to put a temple there? The number of years it has maintained devout pujas without a break. The number and strength of pujas performed each day. So that relates to the connection. And for example, Karaval Temple, only been here since 1972 or 3, but Gurudeva had a vision related to its founding. Lord Murugan came, struck his veil 3 times on the step and indicated where the Nataraja Murti should be placed. So that helped give it a head start beyond the number of years it's existed. Second ingredient for a powerful puja is that the chosen day be auspicious for the deity being worshipped. An annual festival such as Ganesha Chaturthi for Lord Ganesha is a highly auspicious time for worship. The monthly Chaturthi Tithi is also more favorable than other days of the month for Ganesha worship. In both cases, the auspiciousness relates to the exact period that the Tithi or Nakshatra is in power. For example, in Hawaii, Ganesha Chaturthi in 2020 was from about 7 a.m. on September 21st until 5 a.m. September 22nd. In other words, we can't think of the 24-hour day as the festival day. Ganesha Chaturthi is not September 21st or September 22nd. It doesn't align perfectly with either one. It's a little bit of each day. So therefore, it depends on what time you celebrate, whether you would celebrate it on the 21st or the 22nd. For the convenience of devotees, some temples hold annual festival pujas on the weekend, even though the actual and most propitious time was a few days before. And of course, this is not ideal for a powerful puja. It's convenient, particularly more common in, say, Western countries where transport to the temple can take a long time, and it's really only convenient to go to the temple on the weekend. The third ingredient is the skill, knowledge, purity, and mystical understandings of the priests or priests who are performing the puja, and the depth of their devotion. During the puja, through mantras, mudras, and mystical ritual, the priests invoke the deity. They beseech the god to indwell the image, to accept the prayers of the devotees, and to shower blessings and love on all. Gurudeva provides additional insights into this process. When you worship the god in a temple through puja and ceremony, you are bringing that divinity out of the microcosm and into this macrocosm. You supply the energy through your worship and your devotion, through your thought forms and even your physical aura. The pujari purifies and magnetizes the stone image for this to take place. The gods and the devas are also magnetizing the stone image with their energy, and finally the moment is ready and they can come out of the microcosm into this macrocosm and bless the people. You observe that they stayed only for an instant, but to them it was a longer time. Time sense in the inner worlds is different. In other words, it's faster. They're going faster, which makes it longer to them than it is to us. Trend in modern Hinduism is to conduct pujas in languages other than Sanskrit. One justification for this is that devotees will be able to understand what is being chanted. Of course, this idea is not supported by the Vedas and Agamas, the two scriptures that are the source of the mantras. Traditionally, all mantras are only chanted in Sanskrit. It is my experience that pujas using a regional language do not generate the power they do when Sanskrit is used. Gayatri mantra, Bhura Bhuva Swaha. It's nice. Gurudeva affirmed that puja chants work best in Sanskrit, which most effectively invokes the deity's presence. Devotional singing works well in regional languages, which have innumerable expressive hymns capable of melting the heart in love of God. He also offered that local languages shine in providing precise explanations and interpretations. The fourth ingredient is one that will surprise some of you. The devotional actions of attending devotees make a significant difference in the puja's power. That's Penang there. This came to my attention many years ago in the pujas done by the monks at Kauai Adinam. The monks do a number of pujas late at night or early in the morning when there are no devotees present. It became clear that the presence of devotees in a reverent mood, have to be in the right mood, is an important ingredient for a powerful puja. Why? Because devotees supply energy through their worship, their yearning for blessings, through their thought forms, and even their physical aura, as Gurudeva said earlier. So that's a very interesting one. So, of course, devotees have to be in a devotional mood. People, if you just bring in people that don't know what's going on, it wouldn't do anything. In fact, it'd be a distraction. So it's people that are totally involved in the worship and in a devotional mood and paying attention. Fifth ingredient, offerings of cut fruit, cooked food, water, fragrant flowers, and milk. These play an important part in the inner workings of the puja. The deity does not utilize the gross physical substance being offered, but rather utilizes the life energy or prana within it as the priest presents the offering. The same principles hold true for the fire ritual, known as yajna or homa. Jayandrapuri Mahaswamiji, head of Kailas Ashrama in Bengaluru, visited our monastery in Hawaii a few years ago, from when this was written. His three priests performed an elaborate yajna in our Kadabal temple with offerings of grains and woods they had brought from India. They brought a couple of suitcases just filled with offerings. Very wonderful. All kinds of special woods and seeds and things. Afterwards, Swamiji explained that Agni, the god of fire, takes the offerings to the deity in a purified form for the deity to use in blessing those present. In other words, takes the prana. Or same idea. When the 5 ingredients described above are all present in a puja, that ceremony is definitely going to be a powerful event in which significant blessings come forth from the inner worlds. In a medium-length puja, this blessing from the deity takes place during the final arati. In a more elaborate one, blessings also pour forth when the curtain is opened to reveal the newly dressed deity. So it's interesting, I don't know why, but in Kadabal temple, when we have the monthly or the yearly Abhishekam to Nataraja, when the curtain is open, the vibration is actually stronger than in the final one. And that's when the curtain is open, that's when the deity talks to people. They've told me what the deity said. A number of people have had that experience. You open the curtain and there's Nataraja in state of awe, and you hear the deity talking to you. It is at these two moments that the deity and his helpers or devas reflect back all the prana they have received into the aura of each devotee, purifying it of subconscious congestions. Devotees so blessed leave the temple feeling uplifted and relieved of burdensome mental conditions. Some become motivated to live more peaceful lives, have greater harmony in the home, and more tolerance in the community. Some will be inspired to bring forth and perpetuate traditional Hindu culture in the form of sacred music, art, and dance. Others may receive a life-changing message from the deity. Gurudeva describes this mystical process. To understand darshan, consider the everyday and yet subtle communication of language. You are hearing the tones of my voice through the sensitive organ, your ear. Meaning comes into your mind, for you have been trained to translate these vibrations into meaning through the knowing of the language that I am speaking. Darshan is a vibration too. It is first experienced in the simple physical glimpse of the form of the deity and the sanctum. Later, that physical sight gives way to a clairvoyant vision or to a refined cognition received through the sensitive ganglia within your nerve system, the chakras. Through these receptors, a subtle message is received, often not consciously, perhaps not immediately, but the message that the darshan carries direct from the Mahadeva, direct from Lord Ganesha, from Lord Murugan, direct from Lord Shiva himself, manifests in your life. This is the way the gods converse. It is a communication more real than the communication of language that you experience each day. It is not necessary to understand the communication immediately. The devotee may go away from the temple outwardly feeling that there was no particular message, or not knowing in his intellectual mind exactly what the darshan meant. Even the words you are now reading may not be fully cognized for days, weeks, or even months. The depth of meaning will unfold itself on reflection. End of quote. The next time you attend a temple puja or homa, reflect on the many elements, subtle and gross, that go into making it a holy connection, a profound communion with God and the gods. That's interesting material. And our second topic is the series Path to Shiva. And we ask a question, and then we ask you for the answer. Is Hinduism a religion or a way of life? How would you answer that question? Hinduism is a religion and it is a way of life. Both ideas are true. It is a highly spiritual way of life, which is the perfect definition of religion. In other words, all religions are a way of life. It determines how people live. But all ways of life are not religions. So, for example, vegetarianism, which has its strict guidelines, is a way of life, but it's not a religion. The word religion means a particular system of faith and worship. It comes from religionum, a Latin word meaning respect for what is sacred, reverence for the gods. In that sense, Hinduism is overqualified for the term. Unlike most religions, it does not divide life into secular and spiritual opposites. To devout Hindus, all of life is spiritual. All of our daily activities are part of our religious practice. It's the goal. Religion is a powerful word in today's world, one that we should freely use in describing India's ancient faith. A related issue is the use of the term Hinduism. This is the broad name by which Sanatana Dharma is known and honored in the world. For centuries, Hinduism was misunderstood by the West and wrongly disparaged, but that has changed. Entering the 21st century, Hinduism is recognized as the most compassionate, mystical, and enlightened faith on the planet. Messages of peace, not injury, and open-mindedness are urgently needed in this time of strife and bigotry. These values are being appreciated as are Hinduism's sciences of yoga, vastu, jyotisha, and Ayurveda. If we discard the name Hinduism or call it just a way of life, we remove it from the grand esteemed position that it holds and deserves as a major world religion. We should not do that. United together under the Hindu banner, our family of faith enjoys the many protections given to all religions. We have a respected, unified voice to the media, government, boards of education, and planning departments. Hindus themselves are becoming more confident about their faith, proud to declare, "I am a Hindu." In universities the world over, Hindu youth stand proudly side by side with students of other religions. That can't happen if we avoid the name Hinduism, and it can't happen if we give up the word religion. And our third topic is quotes from Yoga Swami's words of our master. Wonder if this is correct, huh? Doesn't seem to be the correct slide. guess it is. There we go. I don't remember that one. Okay. Here we go. See everything you see as Shiva. Do everything you do as Shiva Thondu. Give up this I and mine. Kill yourself, then you will obtain eternal life. What do those two quotes mean to you? Of course, Yoga Swami doesn't mean to actually kill yourself. He means to get rid of the I sense. So that's how that second quote relates to the first sense. We're trying to give up this I and mind, kill the ego. And in the previous quote, he gives a good method, which is selfless service. So karma yoga or Siva Thondu is a really good way for lessening the ego sense, making us a more humble person. Perhaps you remember the Mahatma Gandhi story I tell now and then about karma yoga. He had an ashram, and VIPs would come to his ashram expecting to be taught deep meditation and high philosophy, and he would assign them to clean the toilets. Though I'm told most of them didn't stay. So he wanted them to do Siva Thondu, to become more humble. By remaining in the ashramas of brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa, we can complete the pilgrimage. Pilgrimage to moksha. What does that mean to you? What strikes me is we need to understand how the duties of each ashrama are different. For example, being a student is quite different than being a retired person. And strive to fulfill those duties during those years. So up to 24 is brahmacharya, up to 48 then is grahastha, up to 72 vanaprastha, and after 72 is sannyasa, and pretty soon we're going to have to create a new one for after 96, but we're not quite there yet because the full lifespan is 120 years according to Hindu scripture. Pointing to this body, this is the car, automobile. What does that mean to you? The materialistic perspective is that we are the body, and a great deal of attention is given to how it looks, including lots of money on fancy clothes. Hinduism teaches we are the soul, and the body just carries the soul from one place to another, like a car. So if we look at the body like a car, that's putting it into perspective. The body is what allows us to perceive the earth plane and function on the earth plane. It's like a space suit for planet Earth. We need it to see the earth and to move around on the earth. Oh, thank you very much. A wonderful Skanda Shasti. Oh.